Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to today's Society Decision of Professionals Learning Exchange. My name is Hilda Churakjian, and I have the pleasure of introducing today's presentation, Rethinking VOI, How the Game Changes Things. I would like now to introduce you to the speaker you will be hearing from today. Our featured speaker is Paul Papagiannou, founder of SGG and recently elected STP Fellow. Paul developed and trademarked the practical application of game theory known as strategic gaming, which he and his firm use to help large and small companies develop business and negotiation strategies. Paul has been using game theory approaches in academia and the business world for more than 20 years. Paul has published extensively, and his most recent book, Game Theory for Business, A Primer in Strategic Gaming, was published in December 2010. Paul, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, Hilda.
You will also be hearing from Carl Swetzer, Chairman of the Society of Decision Professionals. Carl is also Chairman and CEO of Strategic Decisions Group, and he is Program Director of the Stanford Strategic Decision and Risk Management Certificate Program. Carl, welcome.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Finally, we're pleased to welcome Larry Neal. Larry manages the decision analysis consulting team in Chevron's Project Resource Company and is the chair of the DA Steering Committee. He is an SDP Fellow and founding member. He co-chairs the Certification Council and is a member of the Program Council. Larry, welcome to today's Learning Exchange.
Thank you.
Carl and Larry will be interjecting during the presentation and give their perspectives. But before we move to Paul's presentation, I'd like to ask you a few polling questions. Please answer as you wish. In your organization, how are the implications of competitive choices explored? We don't explicitly take competitors into account. We make assumptions about what competitors will do based on history. We take competition into account and ad hoc, unstructured way. We systematically take account of competitor decisions in a structured way. Okay, we're going to close the polls.
Looks like we have a lot of folks that take it into account, about half unstructured, half structured. It's very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how it relates to what Paul has to say.
Thank you, Larry. The second poll question, what has been your exposure to game theory? Non-minimal, some exposure but not deep knowledge, significant academic background but have not used it or used it much in business, significant academic background and or exposure to its application in business. We close the polls. Thank you.
Okay, so a lot of exposure, but not necessarily application. So it looks like we're going to have a great connection here, Paul, with your materials and the background of the audience.
But Larry, I think it's interesting to note that even the people that have had significant academic background, most of them haven't applied it in business. So the application used so far in the audience is not high, and I think that leads to great interest to how do we really make it practical.
Yep.